Katha Kanthan. Storytelling. Stories that nurture you brings to you story of Lord Shani Dev and Vikramaditya. Once all the 9 planets, Sun Surya Dev, Moon Chandra, Mars Mangal, Jupiter Guru, Mercury Buddha, Venus Shukra, Saturn Shani, Rahu and Ketu came together. They started talking to each other. While they were in conversation, Rahu and Ketu put up a question saying, "Who is the greatest among us?" They could not decide on this matter. After a long argument, they went to Lord Devraj Indra so that he could give his decision. On hearing this, Devraj Indra thought, if he gave his decision in favor of any one, if he said who was big or small, and if he did so, he would be a victim of their anger. So he said, I cannot decide who is great, and I cannot give an impartial judgment. The best thing for all of y'all is go to the earth. There is a king, Vikramaditya of Ujjain. He is a good and a just king. Hearing this, the planets go to King Vikramaditya's court. All the planets tell him about their problem. It was a very difficult task for Vikramaditya. Why don't you go to Devraj Indra? The planets say that Devraj Indra has sent them to you. Vikramaditya was a very dutiful king, so he accepted the challenge gracefully. After a lot of thinking, he arranged thrones of gold, silver, copper, brass, bronze, tin, zinc, mica, and iron. The thrones were placed by numbers. The gold throne was placed first, and the iron throne was placed last. Next morning, Vikramaditya asked all the planets to take their throne. Whose throne is placed first is the biggest, and whose throne is placed last is the smallest. Because the iron throne was last, and it was the throne of Shani Dev, Shani Dev understood that he was made the smallest. This made him very, very angry. And he said, King, you do not know my powers. Surya the sun stays on one Rashi for 1 month, Chandra the moon for 2¼ of a month plus 2 days, Mangal Mars a month and a half, Jupiter Guru for 13 months, Buddha Mercury, Venus Shukra for 1 month. But as for me, I stay in one Rashi for 2½ months to 7½ years. I have given the great gods great sadness and punishment. Ramji had to leave his family and go to the jungle for 14 years. And when Sadi Sati came over Ravana, he was killed and his entire family was wiped out. So, dear king, you be careful. Vikramaditya said, whatever destiny brings me, I will say. The rest of the gods, the rest of the planets left happily. But Shani Dev left the court very angry. As days passed, Saraswati came over Vikramaditya. Shani Dev disguised himself as a horse trader and came to Ujjain with these beautiful horses. Seeing these horses, the gatekeeper ran to King Vikramaditya, interrupting the king during his court session. Vikramaditya got angry and said, "If these horses are not good as you have described, I will cut off your head." When Vikramaditya came to the gate and saw the horses, he was surprised to see such amazing horses. Immediately he removed his pearl necklace and gave it to the gatekeeper. He climbed on one of the finest horses. The horse ran very fast into the thick jungle, and dropping the king, the horse disappeared. Vikramaditya was lost. He couldn't find his way. After walking for hours, he saw a milkman. The king asked him for water. After drinking water, he removed his ring and gave it to the milkman. He started walking towards the city. He was tired and hungry. He sat under a peepal tree. There was a shop opposite to the tree. He introduced himself to the shopkeeper, saying he was from Ujjain and his name was Vika, instead of saying Vikramaditya. Seeing his state, the shopkeeper gave him some water to drink. Fortunately, that day, business was very good, and the shopkeeper felt that it was Vika who was lucky for him. He takes him home and gives him food to eat. While eating, Vika saw an astonishing thing. There was a necklace on a hook. The necklace was getting swallowed by the hook. After some time after he finished eating, Vika left. The shopkeeper comes into the room to look for the necklace, but couldn't find the necklace. Nobody other than Vika came into this room. It's Vika who has taken the necklace. He goes to the king and he complains about Vika taking away the necklace. The king orders his soldiers to get Vika to the court. Vika is got before the king. The king looks at Vika and says, "He looks like a decent man. He does not look like a thief." The shopkeeper said, "But nobody other than Vika came into the house. He has taken the necklace." The king questions Vika, "Did you take the necklace?" Vika says, "No, I have not taken the necklace. The necklace has been swallowed by the hook on the wall." On hearing this, the king gets angry and he orders that Vika's hands and legs be cut. The order was carried out immediately. An oil merchant takes Vika home, treats him, looks after him, makes him sit on the oil mill to remove oil. With the help of his mouth, he toils the bull to remove oil. Years passed, and the day comes when Sadisati or Vika comes to an end. One night, during Varsharitu, rain season, he was singing the Malhar Rag, an Indian classical raga. His song was very melodious. The princess of that kingdom heard the singing and was completely mesmerized. She ordered her servants to go and find the person singing. The servants went out immediately and found Vika the cripple who had no hands and legs, singing. They informed the princess. The princess was so mesmerized with his song that she decided to marry him. In the morning, when the servants came to wake the princess, she refused to get up and said that she had taken an oath that she will fast, she will not eat or drink anything. The servant went out to the queen and told her that the princess had given up water and food. The queen immediately came to the princess's room to wake her and to know why she was so sad. The princess said, "I've taken an oath. I will marry Vikra the cripple, who lives in the oil merchant's house." Her mother, the queen, said, "Are you out of your mind? You will marry a handsome and a strong prince." The princess said, "I have taken an oath and I will marry Vikra only." The queen was worried and she told the king about the princess's oath. The king too came to convince her not to marry Vikra. The princess was adamant and she said, "I will marry no one. I will marry only Vikra, or I will end my life." The king was angry and he said, "Do what you want to do. It is your destiny." He sent a marriage proposal to the oil merchant's house. The daughter of the princess wants to marry Vikra the cripple, who is living in your house. The oil merchant was surprised too. Vikra and the princess got married. On the night of their marriage, while they were asleep in the palace, Shani Dev appeared to Vikramaditya. "O king, you made me small, and see what a difficult and suffering life you had to go through." Vikramaditya asked for forgiveness. Shani Dev was happy. He blessed him with hands and legs again. Vikramaditya said, "Lord Shani Dev, I pray to you, please do not give such trouble or punishment, pain to anyone else." Shani Dev said, "I accept your prayers. Whoever listens or tells my story, I will always bless them. There will be no sadness in their lives." Saying this, Shani Dev disappeared. In the morning, the princess got up and saw her husband Vikramaditya with hands and legs, and was surprised and very happy. Vikramaditya told her everything, that he was Vikramaditya, a king of Ujjain. She was happy and shared it with her friends. The word spread all over the kingdom. When the shopkeeper heard about the entire event, he came running to Vikramaditya and fell on his feet and asked for forgiveness. "I put a wrong allegation on you. You can punish me." Vikramaditya said, "It's not your fault. It was Shani Dev's prakop. That's why I had to face all this. You can go home in peace." The shopkeeper said, "I will be at peace if you come home and have food with me." Vikramaditya said, "Okay, as you wish." The shopkeeper went home and arranged a feast for the king. The king came, and while they were eating, a surprising thing happened. While everyone saw the necklace that was swallowed by the wooden hook now comes out. After the feast, the businessman joined his hand and offered the king with gold and silver coins and asked him to marry his daughter. The king was given a lot of dowry. After a few days of living in his in-laws' palace, he asked for his leave to go back to Ujjain. He, along with his wives, he left for Ujjain with lots of wealth and servants. When he reached Ujjain, everyone was happy and the entire city was lit with lamps. Next day, Vikramaditya passed an order that on every Saturday, Shani Dev puja will be performed. Whoever wants to fast can fast. From that day onwards, everything was fine and everyone was happy. Hope you liked my story. Do like and subscribe to my channel. Would love to hear it from you all.